everyone? Today we have to talk about pudgy penguins because we had ended up bottoming out here at 8 or at 0.013. That is a level I've been talking about for a very long time, and we finally went down to 0.013. But today I want to talk about where I think pudgy penguins is about to go next, because yes, we just now hit that level, but for some reason I feel like this might not be the end of the dump. Anyways, stick around to the end of the video. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. Go ahead and become a member of the channel, guys. It's only $9.99 per month. I'll go over any stock or crypto that you want me to go over next, as long as it's not some type of low cap scam coin. Just go ahead and become a member. Leave a comment on any one of my videos. Let me know what you want me to go over, and I'll go over it. But you have to be a member. But anyways, let's go over this. So as you can see, pudgy penguins right now currently at a 3.8% up in the last 24 hours. Only, well, no, that's still good. 361 million inside of trading volume. And then we got the market cap at 947 million. So we're out of $1 billion now, but we're still up right now. But in the last 7 days, we're down, obviously, because everything has been dropping. But they're doing exactly what they wanted to do all along. They're shaking people out of the market. This is all it is. It's a shakeout. And I think there's going to be another one too. But anyways, look, 2 weeks ago, we had 52,729 holders. Now we have we had 542,729 holders. Now we have 541,413 holders. So we lost over 1,000 holders in the last 2 weeks. So, this thing, they're shaking people out. This is all they're doing in the market. They're just shaking people out. Now, it could go a little bit lower. And like I already mentioned, I don't think 0.013 is the bottom. I don't think that. I actually have been mentioning this all along. So we're gonna go from the lowest time frames all the way up, right? But we're not gonna go too low. We're gonna go from the 30-minute all the way up. So the first thing that I'm kind of noticing here on the 30-minute time frame, we are hitting some resistance right now, and this is a minor resistance area. As you can see right here, it was used as support. Very strong support, and not very strong because it actually broke down right there, but it was used as support, and now it's used as resistance. We got rejected once here trying to recover. Now we could be getting rejected here, but look, if we break out right here, this is gonna make it more easier for us to become bullish and go back up to 0.017. But if we get rejected right here, this is not too good for us. And also, if you look over here on the %R trend exhaustion, you can see the short-term trend is completely, overextended to the upside, but it could stay overbought for a while. And the long-term trend is kind of catching up here. So that is pretty interesting to see here. And then we can come over here to the 1 hour chart as well. The MACD on the 1 hour chart, you can see lots of buying volume here. So that's always pretty good. And then you can see the %R trend exhaustion showing, again, the short-term trend being overbought, overextended to the upside, and the long-term trend kind of slowing down a little bit. So my thing is, like, what if the long-term trend kind of, stops halfway and then the short-term trend comes down? Usually whenever we see something like this, when the short-term trend outperforms the long-term trend on the %R trend exhaustion, it's usually almost like it's a sign that we're about to pull back pretty much. Like you can see it here where the short-term trend breaks above the long-term trend. And then you can see the long-term trend going down from there. And then if you actually pull it up and look at what it was doing around the 29th of August or October, you can see it was a pretty big drop right there, actually. And what did we see? We seen that the long-term trend overdid the short-term trend. Now, that's not the most perfect example, but that's pretty much how it works with the %R trend exhaustion. We don't want to see the long-term trend or the short-term trend outperform the long-term trend. Every time it happens, it's usually a pullback. So there's a possibility that we could pull back even further. So just keep that in mind. But there's always the possibility that it could be the end, right? There's always the possibility that this could be the end of the dump. But me personally, I don't believe it's the end. We're having the same problem here on Bitcoin. The short-term trend is far outpacing the long-term trend. Long-term trend is moving slow, kind of like how it did before. Short-term trend outpaced it. The long-term trend stayed, very slow moving upwards. And as you can see, it was a slow grind to this resistance until it just finally pulled back. It became too weak and it pulled back. So also we can see the MACD down here. As you can see right here, this MACD on Bitcoin is also showing a lot of buying pressure as well. But still, like I mentioned before, there is a huge possibility that we could see another pullback here. And I've been showing this chart with Bitcoin all along. This has been my stance for the longest time on Bitcoin. We had a 32% drop followed by a bull flag. And then the next pump, we had a 32% drop followed by a falling wedge. And then this one, we had our bearish expanding triangle here, followed by another drop, which could quite possibly be a 32% drop. If it does it like it did the last two times, then we're looking for a 32% drop, which then brings us down to 85K. If we go down to 85K Bitcoin, you can see here the percent R trend exhaustion, the short-term trend coming all the way down here. And this is the exact opposite of when it's going up. So see, when the short-term trend outpaces the long-term trend on the way up, then you typically see a pullback coming. But when the short-term trend outpaces the long-term trend on the way down, once the short-term trend bottoms out, it's going to pump, and then you're going to see a long-term trend stop halfway and then pump along with it. And then you're going to see the price pump. It's the complete opposite of what I was mentioning before. So this is a good thing, but first we need to see it bottom out at 85K. And I've been following this for a while with the percent R trend exhaustion. And look, I have an unorthodox way of approaching the technical analysis. I feel like I do technical analysis a little bit different than a lot of people, but I go off of patterns, and I like to go off of patterns based on, like different indicators, and also based off like chart patterns, like symmetrical triangles, ascending triangles, descending triangles. I like to do a lot of stuff like that, bull flags, falling wedges, bearish expanding triangle. When you're tracking it like that, it makes it a lot easier to know. This was a bearish expanding triangle, but keyword bearish. So there was always the possibility that it could come up here and then it could dump, or it could just dump here and it just dumped there. So it's always good to follow these patterns. Also, the MACD on the weekly chart shows a lot of selling pressure. So I think we have a little bit more selling off to go in the overall market, and it kind of proves itself with Bitcoin right here. So as we see Bitcoin bottoming out on the percent R trend exhaustion here, I feel like we should have a nice pump after that. Hopefully it does not come all the way down here, and then instead of doing this, hopefully it does not continue down and then pump. Because if we see something like this, guys, this could be bad, and we might be down until like May of next year. Like, it could be bad if we see it come all the way down. This is the weekly chart. This is a long-term chart, meaning if it comes all the way down on the long-term chart, then that is a huge downtrend, and we don't want to see it, because essentially we have this much room to drop after it, but then it's going to bring the long-term trend all the way down too, which will make it trade sideways for a little bit. For example, in 2022, when we had the dump, you see how it dumped all the way down and then it traded sideways for a while, all the way up until 2023, and then it finally started to come back. Something similar could happen to where we have a whole year of just nothing but selling pressure and just, dumping and just bear market for like a whole 2 years, really. So hopefully it does not happen like that, and if it does, we are completely screwed. But I was hoping that it would do this, like go down to 85K Bitcoin and then right back up to 157K, and then have the crash of a lifetime, right? Because, we want to scoop it up at 85K, but only if it's confirmed that we're going to actually have that breakout. If we're not going to have that breakout and we're just going to pull back more, then after 85K, we have 75K, right? After 75K, we then have this level down here. This is about 66K. We then have 48K, 30K. We don't want to see all that. Honestly, with the institutional investors in on Bitcoin this time, I don't see it going down that low. To be completely honest, I'm looking at 85K, and then I'm probably going all in at 85K, all or nothing. I either lose it all or gain it all. So we'll see. But Yeah, no, I'm not going all in. Look, you always have to be very, very, very careful. You have to you really have to dollar cost average your way in. So me personally, I'm really waiting for Pudgy Penguins to pull back to 0.005. And I've told you guys this a lot of times, but I'm waiting for 0.005. Like I said, I bought a little bit up here, but it was just a little bit. I think, yeah, I sold it and then I got Chain Upright AI a little bit over there, but I'm still waiting for 0.005 here. So as we get to 0.005, that's the level that I really want to double in on, especially 0.008. When it hits 0.008, that's probably when I'm going to start buying a little bit. 0.013 is good, but I do believe we have one more red candlestick to fill here. I feel like one more red candlestick is probably needed. But yeah, this is all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to bring this to your attention, where I think it's going next. So yeah, again, prepare for 0.008, and there's a possibility it could do 0.005, but I'm not 100% sure there. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, shout out to you guys out there. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Go ahead and become a member, guys. It's only $9.99 per month. Anyways, hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this financial advice. As always, I'll be back with another video.